So as you watch me play footage of Skate 3, a game I haven't actually turned on since 2010, don't laugh at how bad I suck. But we're less than a week away from the launch of the PlayStation 4 and less than 2 weeks from the Xbox One. Initially, I had pre-ordered both consoles. Being a game reviewer, it felt necessary to be able to own both consoles to be able to get reviews out for each of them. However, at this point, I'm looking at only getting one of them at launch, and this comes down to two main reasons: money and exclusives that I am looking forward to at launch. Rise does look interesting, and I have played a multiplayer demo of it, which was pretty fun. Dead Rising 3, while I'm not personally a fan of the series, has potential. Forza also looks great, though to be fair, I'm not a fan of realistic racers, so the likelihood of me ever picking this up is slim to none. And then there's Killer Instinct. My impressions video says a lot about it from the Gamescom build I played, and I am planning on getting it first thing when I do get my Xbox One. As for the PS4's exclusives, well, only Killzone Shadowfall really held any appeal for me. In fact, the only way to have a PS4 at launch was to buy a bundle through Amazon when I pre-ordered it, and that was the bundle I pre-ordered. Knack, while interesting in its concept, isn't necessarily something I would consider for a day one purchase for myself. Other than those two games, I didn't see much in the way of launch day exclusives that I would really consider buying. While DC Universe Online is something that I do have on my PlayStation 3 and wouldn't mind checking out on the PS4 with the better graphics, it's also not something that makes me say I need it right now. So when it comes to exclusives that I would be interested in, the Xbox One is winning, even though really it's only one exclusive right this second. The next issue is money. Obviously, people are assuming that this means that between the basic SKUs of each console, the PS4 obviously wins. However, this isn't necessarily the case for me. As I stated when I pre-ordered my PS4, the only way to guarantee launch day delivery was to get a bundle. The Killzone Shadowfall bundle was $500, the same price as the Xbox One's basic SKU. Granted, it is a saving, being as the bundle does come with the game, which is $60, and a year of PlayStation Plus, also $60, but it was still a $500 bundle. There was also a Knack bundle, but again, Killzone was more appealing to me than Knack. So what it comes down to is how much money I have personally to spend. I no longer work for a gaming website, so my PR contacts have all but dried up. Also, since I do not have hundreds of thousands of subscribers on YouTube, nor millions of views, game publisher PR won't even take a look at me for things like review copies, despite my past with them. So in the end, when I do reviews for games, I am spending all of my own money to do so. Hardware and software all comes out of my own pocket. This is not limited to just consoles and games, though. We have to remember that neither the Xbox One nor the PlayStation 4 have analog outputs. This means I was required to purchase a new capture device in order to capture game footage. As such, I had to spend an additional $180 on a POG HD PVR2 Gaming Edition Plus, since there is software that works with my iMac for it. Though my feelings about that software are summed up in my iTV versus HD PVR capture video. No matter what though, it was an additional expense just to record footage for reviews. I'm sure some people might be asking about the in-game DVR features for each console. Well, for one, there is a time limit issue. On the Xbox One, it's only 5 minutes of recording, and the PS4 is only 15 minutes. I typically record at least 3 hours of footage per review so that I can hopefully have enough to be able to find some good sections to use. Another issue is that neither Microsoft nor Sony have given details on if the files recorded on the consoles can be exported into an editable, non-proprietary format. Sure, one could always use the sharing features and then download the files from wherever they are shared, but there's no guarantee that the shared media will be in the highest possible quality. For anyone doing game reviews, let's plays, commentaries, or any other serious gameplay recording, the built-in game DVR features are pretty near worthless. For casual users, sure, they'll be great, but not for anyone who is serious about these things. Also, the PS4's Day 1 firmware patch makes no mention that it will remove the HDCP on games. I would need to get another intermediary device that effectively strips the HDCP from the signal in order to record from the PS4. This is another additional cost just to record PS4 footage. The Xbox One does not have HDCP on its game footage, so it can be recorded right out of the box. So when we look at the total cost to me, it breaks down like this. The PS4 Killzone bundle was $500. The Xbox One was $500. Killer Instinct Ultra Edition, since I want emulated KI, is $40. The potential device to strip out HDCP for the PS4 is another $25, and I already spent $180 on the recording device. I was looking at over $1,180 just for the consoles, recording device, and an exclusive game before tax, and spending that all in the next few weeks. That's a lot of money to spend, and frankly, since the overtime didn't pick up the way we hoped at work this month, and since I don't make a ton of money at my job, it's money I won't necessarily have to spend. So unless I hit the lottery sometime this week, then I have to cut costs somewhere. Since I wasn't all that enthusiastic about Killzone to begin with, and no other exclusive launch titles for the PS4 interest me all that much, I decided to cancel my PS4 pre-order. That cuts at least $500 from what I would have needed to spend, and it makes it so I'm not trying to scrape by on found change for the next few weeks. I'm far more interested in Killer Instinct for the Xbox One than Killzone, so even if it is the only game I have on my Xbox One for a month or so, I will still be okay with that decision. I may even pick up Rise a few weeks later, we'll have to see. Plus, Crimson Dragon looked really good when I played it, and I was always a fan of the Panzer Dragoon series, so that's another potential buy for me. Probably shortly after the new year I'll go out and pick up a PS4. By then more exclusives will hopefully be out that I'm interested in, as well as the actual knowledge of when the removal of HDCP will be from games. Do I expect everyone to think like me? No. Obviously, if you've pre-ordered one, the other, or both, and see enough on them to warrant spending the money, by all means do so. I'm just not in the financial situation I was hoping to be able to pay for everything in the way I initially planned. Had the overtime picked up the way we hoped at work at the end of September, things would have been very different for me. When it comes down to it, everyone will be thinking about different things. Console fanboyism aside, I feel that people should be looking at the exclusives that interest them over any third-party multi-platform games. Those exclusives are what should sell the system to someone. If it comes down to just third-party games that will be on both consoles, then people could basically just flip a coin or go with whichever console seems more financially viable at the time. And as far as basic models go, this would actually mean the PlayStation 4, since it is $100 cheaper. Plus, it's not like there's going to be a shortage of games on the current generation of consoles. Many of the games scheduled for the next gen from third parties are also scheduled for the current gen. A smart move, since it's pretty obvious that neither Microsoft nor Sony is going to have the ability to get millions of units out for this holiday season. The smart money for publishers is to support current-gen consoles for at least the next year or more, since they have a larger install base to potentially sell to. So what are your thoughts? Are you getting a next-gen console this holiday season? Do you have exclusives you're looking forward to? Have you always just been a fan of one console over the others? Let me know in the comments below, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks a lot.